Since 2017, I've been telling cryptocurrency investors that they need to have a second citizenship as a hedge against all of the potential regulations, taxes, and other issues that come with the emerging crypto space. And I've been really proud to meet a lot of very successful crypto investors, crypto traders over the years, some of the top people in the field who have not only become friends of mine, but who have trusted Nomad Capitalist with their plan to get second citizenship. And today I'm going to share why now more than ever, with crypto at all-time highs, every investor needs to get their second passport. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. Here at Nomad Capitalist, our team of over 30 people and myself help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where they're treated best. And today I'm going to speak to some of the experience from some of my highest net worth cryptocurrency clients, and just highest net worth folks that I've worked with in general, folks who are 8, 9, even 10-figure entrepreneurs, and approach this from their perspective, because I think, looking at that perspective from someone who's more successful than you, it's something that's helped me in business, and I want to kind of come at this from that perspective. Why does every crypto investor need a passport? First, let me just be clear. My idea is, while I love crypto, I also understand that you've got organizations like the OECD, Western countries in particular, that are looking to require exchanges to report on who owns crypto. You have businesses that could be pressured to report who buys things in crypto, even people who sell you a car, or one guy said, I bought a home in crypto. As you see more adoption, I think that you'll see more people who are comfortable with regulation. And just as in many countries in Europe and countries around the world, you cannot pay cash for a car worth more than a couple of $1,000s, I think that governments around the world could easily convince the vast majority of people that you can't sell your house or your car or anything else for crypto unless you report on it. I think that they could impose more rules on crypto holders for taking loans against crypto. They could raise capital gains tax and impose other taxes on selling it for a profit. They can do pretty much whatever they want. And so my perspective is not hiding under the table and hoping I'm never going to spend my crypto. You're certainly entitled to whatever opinion that you want, but my perspective is if you're going to have wider adoption especially, you're going to have governments doing more things to regulate and to tax it. Now, that being said, there are two camps of people, as is so often the case in the offshore world. There are Americans who right now are telling me, as we speak, I can't invest in certain opportunities because they don't want U.S. persons. If I make too much money in crypto and I want to cash some of it out, I'm going to have huge capital gains tax. Plus, I'm thinking maybe I don't want to be a U.S. citizen forever, and I'm approaching that $2 million net worth mark, in which case I've got to pay a huge tax when I leave, whether I sell it or not. And then I've got people from other countries who are saying, I'm living in Australia, in Canada, in Ukraine, in Brazil, and I'm also going to pay a tax when I leave. I may not have to give up my citizenship, but many of these countries have exit taxes as well. They have taxes on trading, taxes on so many other things. And so people are coming and they're telling us just how concerned they are and how they're not only losing opportunity costs, but they're dealing with these tax consequences. And so to me, a second citizenship is always another option. That means whenever you no longer want to tolerate living in one place or being a citizen of one place that does not treat you best, you have the option to leave immediately. And I'll tell you a story. We've got a handful of people, I think 5 different people right now who are coming to me. They're all Americans. We're working with them, and they're all around that $2 million mark in terms of crypto holdings. One of them already has a second passport. The others need to get their second passport. And so there's a lot more certainty for the guy who already has the passport. He's ready to go. It's just a matter of, okay, what do we need to do the tax planning? What's the legal, and we can work much more flexibly. The guys who've got to get a passport are the mercy of the markets. What happens if crypto doubles in the 4 or 5 months it takes them to get a passport? On top of the fact that now they don't have nearly as many choices to get a passport because they can't wait for 2 or 3 years. They're up against the clock. And some of them are literally saying, like, how quickly can we move, Andrew? We got to move quickly. And this is why I think every crypto investor needs a passport. Regulations and taxes for many countries, most countries in the West, I would say, are only going to go up. There are some crypto-friendly countries, and you can certainly go there. But I've said, outside of the crypto space, I think you'll see more countries imposing more draconian exit taxes, that if you want to leave, whether you need to give up your citizenship, as in the U.S., or whether you just need to move somewhere. whether you're an American moving to Puerto Rico or you're any other citizen just leaving the country and becoming a non-resident for tax purposes. I think they will make it more difficult to get out. And so the challenge with crypto is there is such volatility that not only on the good side can you lock in the lows when you want to leave, but in good times you're going to be forced to lock in the highs. And so I think taking advantage of dips is good, but it's hard to take advantage of dips if you don't already have a place to go. Having a second residence, a place that you want to actually physically live that's tax-friendly, crypto-friendly, that's important. But having a second citizenship, possibly from a tax-free country like Antigua, like St. Kitts and Nevis, there are others, possibly from just a tax-friendly country, like most of the Caribbean citizenship by investments, like Malta, like others that are available. That's a good idea because those countries are not going to follow you around the world. I think that the likelihood of, a country in Central America or a country in the Caribbean or a country in Eastern Europe deciding we're going to track you all around the world when you're living in Singapore or you're living in Malta or you're living in, Bermuda, and we're going to, impose some kind of taxation. I mean, Australia hasn't track people around the world yet. There may come a day when they do, but I think being ready for whatever happens, given the volatility, not having to wait 6 months. I would say that to anybody. If you want to sell a business in the future and you have a big capital gains event, having a second passport ready to go before that capital gains event happens, so you can lock in a lower tax rate, is a good idea. But with crypto, the volatility is what matters. And so here's what people tell me on social media. They say, I'll say, hey, today, Dominica passport, if you price it in Bitcoin, it's 2.3 Bitcoin. And they'll say, yeah, I'm waiting for when it's 0.23 Bitcoin. But here's the issue, and here's where the most successful people I've worked with come in. And that is, you can't buy insurance after the house burns down. Part of this really is just a hedge. You buy insurance when you need it. And what I've said for a while now is I think especially, the tool that often works for crypto investors, not always, sometimes we do a quick citizenship by descent, sometimes there's some kind of, fast-track naturalization process, but a lot of times for crypto investors, it is citizenship by investment, often in the Caribbean. And I think there's this idea that if I take money out of a growing asset and pay $100,000 for a citizenship that I may or may not use, I'm a sucker, especially if I realize that, 3 months later I could have paid less. I used to think that way when I was first starting out in business. I never wanted to pay. You'd go back to the store and you'd see something on sale a week later and you'd feel like you were taken advantage of. I don't feel that way anymore because I got what I needed when I needed. And if I'm a crypto investor, I think a lot of people are coming out with guns blazing for me. I think, metaphorically speaking, regulations can change on a dime. And so you're having more than one citizenship means you can turn on a dime also. There's a reason why we promote so many small countries on this channel because they're able to be nimble. And even, recently ex-communist countries like a Georgia, for example, can very quickly turn because they're small. The US and all these other big bloated countries that I believe are going to be coming and taxing crypto and taking advantage of crypto investors and treating people very badly. I believe they can't change. They do not turn on a dime. Their culture is tax some more, regulate some more, anything we don't understand, try and put out of business, find new ways. Oh, they can loan money and not sell? Yeah, stop that. Make a loan, a sale, tax it the same way. And so if some rule comes into place, sometimes countries come up with tax laws or proposed tax laws, and they pass a month later. You don't have time to get a second passport in a month, right? If you already have a second passport, you may have time to leave. You may have time to go to your tax-friendly country that is your new residence. You may have time to activate your second passport. But for me, this is about insurance. If you're an American, it's more about that you might need to use that insurance a lot sooner if you really want to save. And if you don't like the idea of moving to Puerto Rico, for example, that's maybe a good strategy for crypto folks too who are Americans. But for me, knowing that you have that option in your back pocket. The first second passport I ever got, I looked at it and I said, you know what? Now I have options. Now I no longer have to be tied to one country. Whatever the U.S. says, I can say, you know what? I'm not up for that. And my strategy is go where you're treated best legally. We talk about legally. They say I'm the goody two-shoes. Some of these people, maybe the crypto people have said it. They, Andrew, you can just hide your crypto on a wall. You can hide it offline and they'll never find you. And I say, why do you want to live your life that way, right? I want to do things legally. That's what I do. Now, maybe some people don't want to do things legally. I don't encourage that, but I can't change everyone's mind. I like to do things legally. And so, why do you want to stay in a country where they are coming after you? Why do you want to stay in a country where they are going to make the rules more strict? I believe, just as I would tell any entrepreneur or investor, the rules for people with wealth are going to get tougher. And so what I want to learn from is people who've had wealth, great amounts of wealth for a long time, saying, don't be afraid of being a sucker. Don't be afraid that it costs 2.3 Bitcoin today and 1.8 next week. So what, right? And obviously the beauty is, you can start dollar cost averaging out of crypto into fiat to where you take advantage of dips, and you'll have, if you're doing citizenship by investment, you have maybe a 4 or 5 month window before the bill comes due in most cases. And so you can take advantage and somewhat control your price. But having that passport means you have control. And the reason why citizenship by investment often works for crypto investors is because yes, you can go and invest $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million and get maybe a little bit better quality passport or get the money back at the end, right? You can invest the money and it'll come back to you, maybe even with a profit. But obviously opportunity cost is a big issue for crypto folks. And so investing $250 at 4% return is going to pale in comparison to just spending the $100,000, keeping the other $150 in fiat, in crypto, and having that option. You never know when you're going to need an option. I've been saying for years to people in all walks of life, don't worry if you spend a little bit of money. Having peace of mind, I can tell you from personal experience, is worth something. And when I decided to divorce the United States for good, what I've said recently is the best thing I got out of that experience was I have peace of mind. Not only that I don't have to be associated with a country that I never really fit in with, but that whatever they come up with, whatever new law, whatever new scheme, whatever new thing they do to take away my freedom or take away my money, I don't have to worry about it. I'm sitting here, they can do whatever they want. And I think that's valuable. And I think if you're in a volatile industry that's emerging, whether it's crypto or anything else, having that flexibility is very important. Look at a second passport. We've got a lot of resources on our YouTube channel, on nomadcapitalist.com, and elsewhere. Start looking at how to create a second passport strategy so you have options and that you can turn on a dime. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.